away from my Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. We were digging and shifting from 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bars. Sinning was the big thing, Lord, and Satan was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Dance hall girls were the evening treat. Empty cartridges and blood lined the streets. Men were shot down for the sake of having fun, or just to hear the noise of their 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man she couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for the useless and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Waiting for me there.
Hey, YouTubers and friends, how are you all doing tonight? I hope you're all totally awesome, absolutely fabulous, fabulous. Tonight we're having another return visitor with us. Elley Knows Rocks also was one of the stars from the YouTube world on Frozen Gold up in Greenland, Iceland. She'll talk about it. Greenland. I was right the first time. So, with no more further ado, I'll get on with this. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey, YouTubers and friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live with ToledoJess, Dano, and I. Oh yeah, super chat. Oh, doggone it. Other buttons I forgot to do. Okay, unclick super chat. So just in case someone gives me a super chat, I already did that. Now, subscribe button. Doggone Ed. I started a little late tonight because right when I pushed start button on my encoder, it crashed. So, hey, I'm not gonna say it, but you know its name, so no more, no mas. Hello, Jesse, Dano, Elley, how are all of you?
Are you talking about that Eddie dude?
Yeah. Wolfman Rants, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, let's real quick say hi to our chat room here.
Hi guys.
I'm as quick as my thumb can go.
Okay. Brad,
Rob.
I've typed in hi several times. I think that's the best I can do.
Marcos, Terry Curry.
Or Top Notch M. How are you tonight?
Rockbuster, Tazzy T.
Rockbuster. What's up?
Nice little stuck on your quad there going to that mine. What was that? The Silver Slipper mine or whatever it is. Silver something. I'm sorry, Tazzy T. It's good to see all our Aussie friends in here, along with our American friends and Canadian friends.
And hey, let's not forget the world's best moderator on the inner zone.
Yes, Mr. Lodek. Jeff Smith's Gold.
That dude can moderate a chat room. Let me tell you.
Oh, he probably has.
This dude catches a troll before the troll even knows he's trolling.
Right. Yeah, it's like Trolldar. He has Trolldar. But
so
he's probably moderating in like 3 different other chats.
Right.
Because I think his Crypto King is on now too. So he's probably over at his channel.
I wonder if he's a moderator bot.
A moderator bot.
Are you a bot? JP Lonzimore, how you doing? Flower Gold Wizard.
Hey,
oh yeah, I'll give another super chat for that from our friend Flower Gold Wizard. Oh sure, now it won't do that. Oh yeah, super chat. Thank you, Jason the Mason, my friend. Amethyst Angel, how you doing?
Richard B says howdy, Elley. Knows rocks. Welcome to LHC, Arizona.
Marvidius, Marlin, Aurora, how are you two? Our Canadian friends.
Ogre,
you're supposed to say, hi, Mr. Ed, to me, and I go, hey, Wilbur.
Oh my God.
You kind of have that little dyslexic there, dude. So, but
Fantastic.
You, what's up?
speaking of JP's Lawns and more, I have to give a big birthday shout out to Mrs. JP and the Bulldogs. It's her
All right.
birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh, look, Amethyst, how are you tonight? And Mar videos.
Sanji.
Evening, Ed. And everybody.
Ed.
Hey, someone said hi, Mr. Ed.
Wilbur, Richard B. Hello, Wilbur. Thanks for joining our show.
I think we caught up with everybody, right?
I believe so.
Oh, look, the 717 detector. Hello, how are you
Hello,
tonight?
hello.
Welcome. Terry in the house.
All these absolutely fabulous grand people.
Marcos Tuga. Wolfman Rants 411. Howdy.
Yeah,
Indiana
he's
Gold Getter
from-
Scotty.
The first time I saw Wolfman Rants, he was doing a rant at the ways the police in Georgia, I believe, was treating our friends from Adventures with Purpose. And they were treating them bad because they solved a case and the cops didn't.
They were being jelly.
Yeah. Bad,
I mean,
bad.
that's all it was, man. Well,
unfortunately, the
the
police
reality-
don't have the resources to
Right.
continue a search for a
Right.
long time.
Right.
Where
or not just the resources, but they're limited to what they're allowed to do also by their bosses.
true,
you know,
true.
They don't want to spend the money. They don't want to.
Oh, but I'm sure if the family was an influential, rich family from the area, they'd be throwing everything at it.
Well, that's because the family's probably throwing everything at it. You know, fortunately, there's people like Jared and the other divers that are doing this around the world, and I give that credit to Jared. You know, for getting this such a big thing that's gone around the world, right? I think that he's influenced it to a great deal. But anyways, you know, they can only do so much. So yeah, it sucks. But they shouldn't be jealous about it. They should be thanking him, saying, "Hey, what a great job! Thank you." You know, these people have closure. I'm sorry, I'm off my rant.
Ohio Relic Hunter, our friend Bill Marsh, he wants to know if he could get a shirt, one of your shirts for his wife.
I'm copying that link. Boy, I'm really bad at this tonight. I can't multitask for the life of me.
Do you have them over on Elley Knows Rocks?
Yeah, I have them on Etsy.
Oh, okay.
I had like my website going and whatnot, but it's like the fees associated with it versus the everything that wasn't being sold was just not worth it. And so it's just moderated now to like vlog pictures, things like that. And then it's easier to sell things over on Etsy because I sell my rock stands there. I can't print enough of them because I 3D print them to actually keep them in stock. So that's good. It's a good problem to have, but
yeah, right.
So that's
Can't
cool.
do enough work.
Pretty much.
Do you have a link on your? I'm not seeing a link to your Etsy over on ElleyKnowsRocks.com.
Well, no, but it's in the chat.
I just put it in the chat too.
Okay, there you go. That's why we make you a moderator. I'm surprised we didn't make you a moderator a year ago when you were on.
Right.
No worries. I'm an afterthought.
Are we all?
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, remember that person? They did that stuff that time.
Yeah.
That's me.
No, not that stuff. The other stuff.
The other stuff. Good gosh. Yeah. No.
So yeah, we were talking earlier. Since we've said our hellos and everybody welcome Elley to our chat to our live stream tonight. She just walked in and just sat down, started talking.
That's right.
That's fine. That works.
Jesse likes that. Jesse
It's
likes
cool.
that a lot. The more you
Absolutely.
talk, the more he'll
That's
like it.
Yes. I have loads to say usually.
Hugely.
I like to usually be asked a question and then I can elaborate.
I'll try to think of one or two for you. Hopefully you can fill in the gaps.
Totally.
But you were here. I think we were talking probably a little over a year ago.
Mhm.
I don't remember. You were just starting your
July.
channel?
I want to say it was early June
It
of
was
last year.
It was
Yeah.
early June because our anniversary is June 22nd, so maybe it was late June or early July you were on.
There you go. 'Cause, yeah, I remember
I know
sitting
it's-
on my floor and doing stuff. That's how I remember like where I'm at is usually what room I was in while I was doing something. I remember where I was.
That's cool. You know,
Yeah,
some people
sure.
use their sense of smell, you know, some people use their sense of sound, whatever. Oh, I remember what happened when I heard that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so since then, I don't remember how long you'd been doing your YouTube channel at that point.
I think I started actually posting videos on my YouTube in September of 2020. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been doing about a year, a little over a year, close to a year.
Yeah, I'd been doing it for 8 months by the time I talked to you guys, and
Right.
then now it's been in a month here it'll be 2 years. So woohoo.
Yeah, cool.
You're
So-
doing well. Oh, geez, I was looking at it the other day.
I was gonna ask you, how's your-
7,000 subscribers, 8,000 subscribers.
Nice.
6,000.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Unless I can't read, which is a full-on possibility because sometimes the computer screen and me don't get along. So
I don't know.
Okay.
It is her channel, isn't it?
It is her channel, yeah. Oh, you're right.
hey, if it's more, I'm totally down.
Just a little over 6,000. 6.09K. Okay.
Clean your glasses then.
I maybe, you know. I do need
So-
new glasses.
So are you still doing a lot of videos? I mean, you putting videos out regularly and stuff?
Yes, I put videos out every week on Wednesday.
Awesome.
My next video will be tomorrow. I have to actually finish it off tonight when we're done here and just make sure that it's like fine-tuned. But it's another one of my series for my personal vlog of my time in Greenland because I put out the first one on the year anniversary when I went over there, and I've kind of been following along but sticking in a couple of my rock hounding adventures just so that, you know, people see that I am still doing the same thing and it's not just my vlog series in case they get sick of hearing me. So, you know, I just wanted to let them know like what I was actually doing over there I guess on my time frame in my little zone and whatnot. So I'm giving everybody that chance to see the craziness.
Cool. So now you've got a chance to let's talk about that a little bit. You know, because all of a sudden we heard our buddy Ray is going to Greenland,
Mhm.
right? You know, Ray Russo, you know,
Mhm.
he's a friend of the channel, friend of ours, and he was going to Greenland. And then we heard you were going to be up there, and the AU twins, who I had just started following on YouTube also, was trying to get him on the show before they even, started that, right? And then the other guys, you know, because I'm constantly looking at different YouTube channels and trying to find people to bring on, somebody that looks interesting. Let's check this out. No treasure hunters and that. Sometimes I wind up in rabbit holes, like watching people cut grass. You know?
Wow. So do you go watch the trees grow as well? Because that's probably just as fun.
Oh, well, fortunately, these guys are really cool because they do speed up the action. So it's you're watching a 4 or 5 hour job get done in an hour, and it's kind of cool. It's ASMR stuff, right?
It's instant gratification. You know, it's like those guys that dig those pools, those elaborate pools out of mud.
Exactly. Those are fun to watch too.
Yes, they are. I can't help it. I love watching.
I like those guys. They go in the jungle, and next thing you know, they have a palace with a pool and.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's the dudes that impress me are the ones with just the stick.
Yep, all and they're doing this and do a leaf and throwing it out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, but that's, and I think that's how I kind of came across you the first time too. I was watching, there's somebody, geologist. I'm always trying to find different types of treasure hunters, things are related, geologists. Yeah, we've had what, 3?
Well, it was. Oh, you're not talking to me.
No, I think we've had like 3 different geologists on here.
Yeah, Jeff Williams.
4.
Matt.
Right.
The dredging geologist or whatever he calls himself, and Elley, and the rock butchers joined us. So 4 geologists.
Cool.
Because personally, I think geologists help me be able to locate gold. It helps a lot of people understand a little bit how gold works and how it gets where it's going. And with you guys explaining how, this process, it really helps us out a lot.
Well, personally, I think even if you're not into geology before you're a prospector, once you get bit by the gold bug, you get in geology pretty quick.
Right? It's like metal detectorists become historians.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you talk to any metal detectorist, and they'll talk about history.
You're right, Smith's Gold. Chris Ralph. So
yeah, Chris
5.
Ralph. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
So you've had a full handful.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Hey, they're important in this. Very important.
We try. That's one thing that I like about consulting and going out to claims and like walking a claim with the owner is to show them different parts of especially in Arizona, because most everything that people claim is placer. Very few hard rock claims, but there are some. They're just kind of a pain. But the geomorphology and how it changes and what they can look for in those changes is huge. And I can point out things that they might have thought might have been something, or that they had no idea. And either way, it's really cool because I get to confirm what they were thinking about, or I get to show them something brand new. And the one gold claim that I've been working on, the amount of gold that we've pulled out of this area has been insane for where it was at. And you wouldn't think it was there, which was so cool. It's not just a feeling that you have, because people are like, oh, you can't believe in like the feelings, but it's like you can just tell. And there are certain looks of the rocks and certain smells and certain things, the way that they form, and especially in those alluvial fans and stuff. So being able to point that out and then help them actually dig it up and see it come to fruition where they are actually getting like beautiful gold, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So how did you let's talk about your trip to Greenland.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we all love to be there.
I'm gonna pin up Elley because she's a lot better looking than any of us.
Absolutely. Jeez, wait.
You're doing what to me?
Front and
We're gonna
center,
see
full
you.
screen.
Penn and you.
Journey. Never mind. They're talking amongst themselves.
Mhm.
Good time to visit the fridge. Somebody needs a refill.
Go pee.
Okay, we're back now. We're back. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. I had to totally reboot my encoder. So hopefully I did shut down the widget I had to highlight chats. I did shut that down, so.
Well, you can hear us all. All of you can hear us, right?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Me. Hello.
Yeah, so there we are. We're back.
Out there.
All right. Now, hopefully people will start coming back because we had a nice room in here. And those of you who diehards that stuck around and gave us
That's right.
time, God bless your hearts.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, now we were talking about what? Where were we before?
What was that thought you were holding? I forgot.
We were talking about the show a little, weren't we?
Yes.
We were talking about how you met Dave Turret. Did you guys hear that part?
Well, I didn't meet Dave Turn. So that's where it got glitched. But from Dave Turn's show, I met Casey Morgan.
Oh,
Casey, yeah.
Yeah, and he came up with his wife V, and I went total like freak out, like fangirl for a second. I even tried to like run through my table because I had a booth, and I was like, "Oh, you're not going to get through that, but recover and walk around." So I did. I said, "Hey," I said, "it's great to meet you. I'm a huge fan of the show. Can I get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, not a problem." And he pulled his kiddo in, and his little son was sitting there, and so we all got a photo, and it was sweet. That, you know, I was just like, wow, that was very cool. So I was just on this little high. Well, I go home and oops, sorry, I have my cat. She's
all right.
So I get a Facebook or an Instagram message from V. Apparently, Casey Morgan and her already followed me. I had no idea, but I was like,
nice.
Oh my gosh, this is why I should check my notifications more often. So, you know, anyway, she said, there's a flyer that I'd like to send you. She's all, I actually emailed them and recommended you for this. And I was like, that's cool. Sweet, thanks. And the next day I actually got a message from the casting director for the show and said, hey, we've actually seen your YouTube and your Instagram and some of the stuff that you do on TikTok. Plus we got a message, from a couple other people that you would be a great fit for our show. Would you like to be on the show? And I'm like, yeah, like there was no thinking about it. Right. I mean, yeah, I sat there going, oh, well, thank you. That'd be a great opportunity. Like I was trying not to fly through the screen and like hug the person on the other side. I was flipping out going, go to Greenland, look for gold. Yeah, not a problem. I'm so down. Yeah. So I was ecstatic. So they went through like the rigmarole of all of the stuff. And basically they put me in a holding pattern, but they said, you're one of our top people. We want you as the geologist and we want you to come as our lead adventure person. And they didn't know exactly a name. And everybody was from Europe that was talking to me. So their accents were really cool. Our time zones were always off. So that was interesting. And they always caught me right after a workout. So I'd come in for like, can you do a video chat real quick? I'm like, oh, I'm sweating. I'm gross at my nasty t-shirt, but sure, why not? So it was okay. It worked out. And, we got our plane tickets and, I went over there. 12 COVID tests later, I finally got to Greenland.
So, and they pay for everything, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They pay for your trip there and back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they paid for all of it. My flight there, salary, my food, my lodging, anything that was there besides things that I wanted, whether it was, souvenirs or something extra or whatnot. And
I
then
Wait a
might
minute.
hit up one of those emails
you-
next
did I
time
hear
then,
you- did I
because
hear you
I
say-
always heard you had to pay a portion to get there, you know.
I also think I heard something. I think I heard you say something that I wasn't aware of. Salary?
mm-hmm.
Really?
Well,
See-
I didn't go over there for free, that's for sure.
Well, no, understand. And we've talked to other people who have done Ice Cold Gold,
Mhm.
you know, some of these other shows, and their first season
Gold.
not like that. It's
Well,
always, at least that's what they tell us, you know. So
Brian Wilder, you lied to us.
Brian, you're in trouble. Put your
Damn
pants
it.
on and get out of here.
So there is a portion, like it's nothing obscene. It's actually probably the least amount of money I have made per day in my entire life.
Okay, no,
And-
I understand it's not going to be, you're not going to be a millionaire or anything like that.
No,
No, I get that, but I was always, we were under the assumption that you didn't get anything.
no,
Sometimes it even cost these guys, you know.
mm-mm. No,
Okay.
that would have been, I mean,
Another fallacy.
oh yeah, there's
We've
there's
learned a
of
lot.
things that, you know, and I didn't know either a lot of the stuff before going over, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, like, you know, everybody that went, it's the same exact way. So, you know, and it was varying degrees. If it was something extra, no. And the whole
Right,
point
right.
was to make up any difference there. The motivation was to find gold, to have money to take back, not just, okay, I'm going to survive. I get to pay my cell phone bill at home and
Right.
stay here, you know, working, which was awesome, but hoping to actually like have something tangible to take home as
Okay.
some kind of monetary compensation.
So were you going to be able to keep the gold and any of the treasures that you found?
Yes, that's what
Oh.
was originally stated, is that any gold that was found while prospecting, the entire thing was going to be split between everyone. Now, if you've watched the show, and you know, spoiler alert if you haven't, but we found just over 1.5 ounces. Yeah, I actually found more money in rubies that I didn't get to keep, besides a couple of them, than I did in gold. But I mean, I found a couple little tiny pieces of gold. So I have some actual Greenlandic gold that I brought back from like personal prospecting while we were there. But we didn't actually start mining with a sluice and an actual excavator until what, our 10th week there.
Wow.
Because weather, fabrication, things breaking down, the time estimation for how long it takes to actually do things in Greenland was so unplanned that it was crazy. Plus we had 2 different hurricanes that came in and kicked us out, like legit. It wasn't for show that we were leaving or scared to death. It was, you could die if you stay here, so you need to leave. We're like, okay, not a problem, send me home. But I was one of the volunteers that during the last hurricane, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going back. Like, this is our last week here. Send me on a boat ride, because let me do one last adventure before I have to go home.
Right on.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, like us too, you know, sometimes we'll make plans to do something. We're going to go for a weekend, and half the weekend's messed up because of rain or whatever. And, you know, even little stuff for us, little, you know, it's just, yeah, I can imagine. So you were there for how long total?
I was there from July 9th to September 25th. Or I guess the 24th, because I had to fly over to Iceland and then just stay there till the next flight out the next morning, which flying from Greenland to Iceland to home, it was like forever. So it, you know, I was almost spent a full day traveling. It was intense.
That, so I don't know, I'm lost.
What?
I was reading the comments over here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, you know.
No, you're okay. I keep trying to glance over at the comments. but I'm.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I normally don't do that. I let Daniel do it or Ed do it. So you wound up, you guys split house and a half, you said?
No. So when it came down to like the last little bit of the meat of the show, before we went on camera, before we talked about anything, Ray came in and he invited everyone in. And now at this point, I'm not going to name names as who didn't agree with this, just because. But the whole team of the 6 people that were there were standing in front of Ray. And he's like, this is what I think that we should do. Since we've taken up all of Alex's time, all of Alex's dad's time, we haven't found as much as we needed to because we didn't get mining forever because it took that long to start there. He's all, how about we take everything that we have, melt it down, and give it to Alex's dad? And I was like, that's totally fair. And I said, what we don't need, what are we going to get? A few bucks a piece if we split that?
Yeah. It was, if you do that, then your monetary gain that you thought you were going to come out with is a real disappointment.
Yeah.
Right? But if you were to do if you did what Ray suggested, at least you got something out of it.
Yeah.
In the form of feeling good, I guess.
Exactly. And Alex
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Alex was a great person too. And I'm like, why not? This is a great idea. There were 3 people that did not agree with this idea and flipped out so much so that they were yelling at us and then walked out of the tent saying, I'm not leaving here with nothing. And I'm like, we have the experience here. This is a fantastic, beautiful experience
alone was.
Yeah.
Dude, they paid for your plane trip.
Yeah,
they paid for everything over
here.
For your
just food.
Enjoy all of it.
You got an adventure that you couldn't get any other way unless you had a lot of money and then whatever.
Oh, and it is super expensive to be in Greenland. Like I couldn't even believe just the smallest, simplest of things. You're like, whoa, that's what? And so it was intense in that portion, but for everything else, it's like just love the experience, love what you're doing. And so like for me, I brought home 22 pounds of rocks. Just rocks. Okay.
Just rocks.
Just regular old rocks. That didn't include the little bits of I got to keep. So
I can't believe they're just regular old rocks. I'm sure they have some meaning more than just being from Greenland.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're a rock that you always wanted to see. I have no doubt.
Some nice specimens.
The best specimens of the area I could find of metamorphic rocks and the pegmatites and the sodalite is what I found the most fabulous. The one that you want to see sodalite?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. It's right over here.
Okay. Since we're talking about it, show it to us.
I didn't even think to put this in front of the screen, to be honest, but this is a small bag.
A small bag.
It's a small bag.
It is. So let's see what will happen. I'm going to put them in my hand.
The bag weighed like 155 pounds before, and they're like, oh no, that costs too much. You're going to have to get that down.
Yeah.
So those are ultraviolet, kind of like
let me turn off one more light.
Kind of like super lights. Yeah.
Is that?
Ooh,
yeah.
Cool.
Orange.
Yeah. So people call them Uperlite. You can't actually use that term.
Because it's not from the Uper.
Yeah. Well, no, actually somebody TM'd it. And so it's a trademark name now. If you Oops.
Yeah, Eric from Uperlight.com or whatever, and the show Uperlight is.
Yeah, if you use it, you get in like serious trouble. My light is not like staying where it needs to. I'm so sorry. This is awesome,
don't
right?
worry, you know.
It's one of those bad technical nights.
Yes. Bad technical night, and it's too bright to boot. Otherwise, I just get like really dark in the room. So yeah, anyways, the it's not Uperlight, it's Soda Light actually. And so I brought home a lot of this. Not all 22 pounds was this, I swear.
So Soda Light, is that the Soda Light that's given the color?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's specimen Soda Light.
Yeah, so it's a mineral soda light that is,
Okay.
It comes in blue or gray, the color, and it UV fluoresces with UV light. And
Right.
it has that beautiful orange glow. And so like, if you guys know or have ever heard Pangea, or when all of the continents and stuff
Right,
were
right.
connected,
Yep.
where Greenland was versus where like the Yooper Peninsula and Canada come in, the glacier that was right there pushed those rocks from Greenland down here. And then when everything pulled apart, the ones that are here stayed there, but they came from
Right.
over there.
Oh,
So
so the Uper lights here in the States actually came from Greenland?
yeah, when we were Pangea.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that
That was
cool?
a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was, not last year.
No, that's why when you see them, they're usually like beautifully rounded and tumbled because they've been in the
Right.
lakes and the rivers here forever. Like
Right?
these are really rough and very jagged. You can still see the beautiful crystals that are in them just because
Oh,
they didn't have that ability to be rounded. So you get like the purest form. So I was like, yes, I got it from the source. So that was my nerddom.
Oh,
while I was there.
that's cool. Instead of it being like a placer where it gets moved around,
Mhm. It was moved by a glacier and then dropped.
they drop it right there in the glacial till. That's cool.
Isn't that neat?
So what's your biggest piece that you brought home with that?
The biggest piece I brought home's about like that. It's not here actually. It's still in Baghdad. Because as I live permanently in Havasu now, but most of the stuff went home to Baghdad when I got back, and then I slowly just migrated over here, and now I'm here. But there are still some rocks that were left behind that I still need to bring with me.
No.
So there, like while I was over there though, like some of the, I guess, more funny or interesting things that were there, like most of the people will speak English or try, which is cool. I tried to speak some Greenlandic words, but it was really horrible. And so I could do a few terms and that was about it. Mostly I would point. One of the things though, on the claim specifically that was very tough is we had a single bathroom that had fresh water coming from the stream, which was actually glacial runoff that had been filtered through. So we were actually just pumping our own fresh water, which was awesome. But again, we had one bathroom to like 15, 16 people. And everything in Greenland is flat, right? Like if there are any trees like there are in the Sarsak, they planted those trees there. Trees don't grow in Greenland. They have big bushes and big rocks, and some of the soil like undulates because you're walking kind of on tundra. So there's nowhere to hide to go to the bathroom. So for a dude, that might be okay. But one of the cool things about Greenland is there is fresh snacks everywhere. There's Greenlandic blueberries, Greenlandic blackberries. So if you eat enough of those, you are seriously in a world of hurt if you cannot find a bathroom soon enough. So any rock big enough to hide you is the perfect place to run to. And so for me, I came really close twice to not undoing my belt fast enough, and it scared the living crap out of me, nearly literally. But I never came back to camp with any stains or anything gross. But it was a very scary thing because those sorts of facilities, they're not readily available. You're camping, like legit.
Right.
You
Right.
are camping. So if you don't know how to put up a tent or realize that a tent is, thin, it's not a wall. Like you can hear through it. If you're having a conversation in a tent, it usually will resonate outside the tent so you can hear what other people are talking about. That was fun.
Here's a suggestion for you for the next time.
Yes.
Wear a poncho.
Oh, so you could have your own little
All you gotta do is,
I had a rain jacket. That was it.
well, a regular pullover poncho,
Mhm.
just a poncho. You can squat down in privacy.
That would have been a great idea. Amazing idea.
Next
the other
time,
chicks over there.
Bill. Next time.
We're gonna make sure you have a poncho when we go camping.
Yeah,
Right.
it would be so convenient. You
Yeah.
carry your tent with you.
Yeah.
The BC Trail says, or bring an umbrella. Laughs out loud.
Oh yeah, an umbrella could work too.
No, but I think the poncho for ladies,
Would be almost ideal,
Genius.
wouldn't it?
genius. Think about it.
So do I need a doggy do bag too?
Well, yeah.
No,
Well,
cover it
no,
up with a rock or some moss.
yeah,
Okay.
just kick at it.
That's hilarious. So someone was asking me about it being in the Greenland hotel for 2 weeks. Must have driven me nuts. Yeah, I'm doing a video vlog series right now about my personal time over in Greenland, if you guys haven't seen that. And it's a lot of fun. I was calling it my foreign adventure, and now I'm changing the name, and I explain in the next video why, to my frozen adventure, because I was filming Frozen Gold. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's way too easy, because I don't think of the easy name first. But the 2 weeks in lockdown, oh yeah, I was going nuts. Like I had 2 bruises on the top of my head from hitting myself in the head with an apple because I was learning how to juggle. And it didn't go well. And so it kind of sucked. And so I gave up pretty quick though. I was able to go outside, and that's where I started collecting the soda light, because I was taking the black UV light and I was bored. So I'd walk up and down the fjord looking for all kinds of rocks. And so I kept, collecting them. So the bad part was I started collecting rocks within the first 2 weeks of being there. I still had 10 more weeks to go. I had to drag them along with me in my suitcase. So I ended up coming home with 1 extra giant suitcase plus an extra duffel bag. And I originally came with a backpack and 2 suitcases. So like my herd of luggage going through the airport looked like 5 people were traveling. It was ridiculous.
And little did they know it was nothing but rocks.
Yeah, no, it was, they had no idea.
Well, now my curiosity has to ask you, did you learn how to juggle?
No,
No.
I tried. I don't know that I'm
So
Well,
simple.
after getting
good
hit
enough
in
to
the
do
head
that. Like
twice.
somebody said I was doing it wrong, because I started out with I only started out with 2, but I still couldn't keep track of that. And someone said, you have to start with 1. And apparently you have to learn how to watch it.
You start with 1.
Mhm.
Just be able to figure your timing and throw in to
Yeah.
figure out, right?
Mhm.
Then you put 2 in the same hand. Then you go up. So the next one,
That would make sense.
you throw the second one when the first one gets to the top of its throw.
Uh-huh.
Throw the second one, catch the first one. Throw the second
Okay.
one, catch the first one. Back and forth, back and forth.
I'd be breaking things and hitting myself
Well-
too.
Well, here, a suggestion: use an orange. They're a little softer, and do it, and do it like standing next to your bed. So when you inevitably gonna miss, it's not gonna bounce and roll away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I eventually started doing that on the bed in Greenland, but then the apple would fall on me and then ricochet onto the floor, and I have to go find it. It was a
God.
mess.
Yes. Yes, Karen. I used to be a street juggler in San Francisco. I would walk
for
up and
real?
down for real.
Oh my gosh,
I would
that's
walk-
cool.
I would walk up and down the street juggling, or I'd stand in a corner juggling, doing all kinds of tricks and stuff.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Kinds of tricks, huh?
No,
See,
not
I
That was
needed
over
a
there on
video
your
or something
corner.
of that.
Yeah, so, and that's how the guy that taught me told me exactly what I just told you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was showing me just do 2 at a time in one hand, right?
Yeah.
Once you get that down, then you put another ball in the other hand. And again, when the first ball that you throw gets to the top of the arc or your throw, then you throw the next one. And then you throw the next one. Catch that one, throw the next one. Just takes what he said, that's all you have to know. Now go home and practice.
Wow.
And that's what I did. I went home and I practiced for a while. I wound up hanging out in the streets in San Francisco. Hell, I went a whole day, a whole complete day, because I just wanted to see if I could do it. Bouncing 3 balls everywhere I went, constantly the whole day, everywhere I walked.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yes, clowns are like that.
See,
But I did it.
everybody that tuned in today had no idea you were getting a juggling lesson.
Right. And believe it or not, that's all he didn't even, he just showed me 2 balls at a time. Do that, then throw a third one. Practice,
so
practice,
cool.
practice. That's why everyone hears me say practice, practice, practice.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I believe that. But I stopped after the 2 weeks because I was too busy. There was no downtime after that.
Well, I was not working, not doing, just hanging out, being a bum. Had 3 rubber balls.
There you go.
But I made money.
That's
I
awesome.
ate, I took care of myself, paid rent. It was fun. Hey, it was
cool.
fun.
Yeah. So after
the show is not supposed to be about me.
Well, then shut up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I did a lot of hiking as much as I could get away with. We were allowed outside for 90 minutes every day, and there was no good geology over there. As far as there was no gold in the Sarsak, there were no rubies, there was no garnet, there was nothing interesting that was there. Just besides the sodalite, which was cool, but it's not worth anything as far as when you went over there to find something.
Right.
So initially I was told, yeah, whatever gold you find, whatever gemstones you find, you get to keep. And that wasn't something that I signed. And I went over there, looking for all this stuff. When Ray suggested to, give the gold to the claim owner, I was like, yeah, I'm all about it. Not like the other people that disagreed, which was not cool. But when I went to go look for the rubies, I still could strangle that little man. I was told I got to keep them. And then he decided to change his mind and say, no, you get to keep this, and that's it. And I'm like, wow. I was blown away. I couldn't even believe it. And it definitely felt like breach of contract everywhere. I signed something that said I got to keep what I found because I worked my butt off for it.
Right.
And then the person, did a handshake deal, completely went off on that. And so it's like, wow, I think that the only person that I met while in Greenland that I would never want to run into again was that little man that owned his little private claim. Everybody else was a sweetheart. The people from, Denmark that were over there, or just like the general Greenlandic people are absolutely awesome. Like, I made a really good friend over there, Q. She's fantastic. We message each other like once a week, whether it's like a little video saying hi or just whatever. And she didn't get to meet me until the very end of our time over there, really. And she didn't know what she was going to think of me just because she didn't get a chance to meet me. And somebody else in our group had said, oh, no, you're not going to like her. Q and I get along like this. And she's like a phenomenal, fun, adventure buddy. She was awesome.
Yeah, Al Relic Hunter makes a good point. Of course, I know it's too much of an effort, too costly for you to turn around and sue them for breach of contract. And they're not from the United States anyways, right?
No.
Right. So that's another strike against you.
Yeah. It is well though, it's like
yeah, right. Well, like I said, like what we talked about earlier, you got the trip there, you got the adventure, you got to hang out with our buddy Ray, you know.
Ray and I had a good time. Like I have a story about Ray.
Let's
we got a
hear
story
it.
about Ray. Somebody should tag him.
Yeah. Someone should get him on here. But so Ray made it real clear from like the
we
get-go.
can do that probably.
I'm sure
Mr. Lodak.
Mr. Lodak's on it.
He's already saying 2 seconds. You already have the link, Mr. Lodak, so.
Ray's in a Masonic meeting tonight.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he's in a Mason's meeting.
Yeah. All right. You'll watch it later. Or he'll show up later.
Okay.
He'll probably show up later, almost at when we're done.
Okay.
He'll probably show up then. That's when he usually comes in.
Mr. Lodak. Oh yeah, crap. Right. Yeah. Nothing goes ahead of Ray's Masonic duties.
Right. If you look at the chat room, you'll know everybody in this chat room knows where Ray is right now.
I know, right? He's in a Mason's meeting. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me all about that. He told me some stories that were fantastic, but he knows this one already, and you guys can harass him about it. But
okay.
So I really wanted I found it my mission to make that man walk somewhere. He made it a point and such a big stink that I'm not walking up there. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And I said, you want to bet? He's all, I'm not doing it. So it took me like a few weeks, right? I think 2 weeks total to finally say, you're doing this with me. And of course I had like the crew members behind me going, come on, Ray, we're not going to make Elley do this alone. You're going to go with her. So he had to get on his big old backpack and go over to this other side with me. But what I did is I wrapped up ice in plastic, and I put that in a plastic bag, and the ice was coming from the icebergs. We couldn't make ice on site. We didn't have any kind of refrigeration like that. We had a small refrigerator, don't get me wrong, for the chef, but we couldn't make ice. So I chipped off pieces from the little icebergs that were on shore, put them in my backpack, and I put beers in there on ice. So I was like, okay, we're going to get up to the top of the hill and he's going to have an ice cold beer. And I didn't want to tell him. I told the crew, I said, don't you say a word. And of course, none of this was like filmed and stuff like that. And we get up there. We're soaking wet because everything had just rained. Like literally everybody's soaked to the bone. We pitch our tents on top of the bushes because there was nowhere else to put our tents. And we're trying to crawl inside. So while this is all going down and whatnot, before Ray's like settled in, because he's like kind of cranky right now, but he's trying to show like he's in a good mood. Our guide informs us that after we'd hiked about 3.5 miles, and we'd already set up our tents, he left our food back at our main camp. So we're like, wait, what? We have no food? He's all, it's okay, I'll go fishing. We're like, okay, sounds great. You're in Greenland. There's a stream. Why not? So we brought snacks. So everybody piled their snacks together. Salik went off and he caught this big old fish. So we started up a little fire. We cooked the parts of the fish. We get down and I turned around and I'm, patting Ray on the back and I say, this was awesome. Wasn't this cool? And he's all, yeah, kiddo, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, I got something for you. And I pulled out beers from behind my back and he's all, well, yeah, he used his sailor voice in the best way that he knew how. And he was thrilled. And then the little monster said, I got one better for you. And then he pulls out a little bottle of Jack from his backpack. I was like, but I was like, fine. I went through all this trouble. I send all to get you up here without telling you. We had a good time. We had a great chat. And I got to like actually tell him stuff that was going on without anybody else around, without like just any pressure from anybody else that was hounding us for like information that we didn't have or that we'd already told them, and they just kept wanting us to regurgitate everything. Honestly, like a lot of the people that went there expected me to drag them by the short hairs and rub their faces in the dirt and tell them where gold was at. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
I was just gonna ask you about that. What
Hmm.
were the expectations of you being there? What were you? You said they made up some kind of term for what your job was.
yeah.
What was your actual job there?
To be the site geologist, to
Okay.
actually look at the geology, to
Right.
tell Ray and the claim owner the best places to find gold. And then 2, I was the adventure lead. So any adventures that they were going on that would took like strenuous activity, energy, that's what they sent me on to go do. Because that's kind of what I'm good at it anyways.
Right,
And
right.
there were a couple people there that would complain about walking, which was frustrating. Not Ray. Ray would get up and do whatever he needed to do. He just liked to bitch about it.
He just, I was gonna say, Ray just likes to complain, so that's
Yeah, he just
that's
wanted to
just
go
Ray.
bitching about it, but if you needed him to go do it, he was gonna go do it. And so I kind of make fun about the fact that he wasn't walking. He'd have walked up there anyways. I just made a big deal about it, and he was way cool about it too. So it was awesome. And
Oh, no, I'm sure he was pissed at you, making him go up there for just a yes,
little bit.
a little bit is a lot from him though.
I know. I heard about it. I heard about it for the next 4 weeks until
I
I
bet
kind
you
of forgot
did.
about it.
Yeah.
But like, so people didn't want to do that kind of thing. Some of the people there were not used to like actual camping without luxuries. And it's like, well, sometimes baby wipes for 4 days are all you get. Like that's just how it is. Sometimes you don't wash your hair for a week. Oh, well, like you get used to it.
Deal with it.
But the constant bitching about it, I was just like, oh, wow, you guys should have like never came here if this is what you're going to do, because this was outrageous. So I'd go off, I'd pack up all my stuff and I'd be gone like all day long, hiking around, walking around. And that's what I was doing. I was prospecting different places on the claim, digging my test holes, digging different areas, all of that stuff, and mapping it as I went along where I was at. And that was my primary goal anyways, to try to give that information, pass it along to Ray, and honestly, primarily the claim owner. I wanted him to have the best information possible when we were gone. The only thing that he couldn't do was to get a bigger section of the claim further up inside the U-shaped valley. And that's where we actually needed to be. But
I was just
for
gonna
his
ask
claim,
you
we
about,
couldn't prospect there.
yeah, I
What?
was gonna ask you about you were working on someone's claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you guys were exploring around on this person's claim?
Yes.
In your mind, did he have a bad claim or a good claim? I mean, was he not where the gold was?
So
Did he just
this is twofold. Placer mining in Greenland is something not like you do here in the States. Like,
all right.
And for a handful of reasons, but the main one is rock mechanics. Bigger rocks smush smaller rocks into powder, right? And so on and so forth. So when you get that compound of the pressure of the ice constantly freezing, thawing, and then grinding and smashing, everything inside those rocks, including the gold's going to get flattened. It's going to get broken down eventually and just turn to powder. And that's what happens. And I wrote a whole article about this actually recently. And so it was cool, but the process of this makes it so that if you have even the slightest bit of surface tension on the water, that gold's just running into the fjord. Bye-bye, you're never going to see it again. And so with all the water that comes off of the glacier, it just picks up that fine gold and dumps it.
Right. So basically you're getting what Ray finds in Alaska is what you guys were looking for, right?
No, you're worse than that.
Worse than that. Oh man.
Okay, so what we were finding, if we were lucky, we were getting 200-300 mesh. The majority of our gold was 400 to almost 600 mesh. It was micro powder fine. And I'd never panned that fine of gold in my life. Ray actually showed me a lot of amazing techniques.
And Ray knows how to pan that stuff.
Oh yeah, I was blown away. And he helped me so freaking much just to be able to do other things with my panning wrist that I never ever knew that I could do. And so that was really cool to develop that skill, finding that stuff. But you weren't going to hit like the mother lode. You weren't going to hit these giant nuggets. And everybody there is like, I'm looking for the nuggets. I'm looking for the nuggets. And every meeting we had, I told them, you're not going to find nuggets here. It's impossible unless we're hard rock mining, and we're not. And so everybody thought the source of the gold was on the claim. The source is on the claim. I was like, it's impossible for the source to be on the claim. If you know how gold flattens out and how it gets fine, that takes like years and years and years of it being just obliterated and squished.
Hammered, right? Hammered down, right?
And yeah, finer and finer and finer. And working with people that didn't understand that was frustrating. Ray got it. Some of the others didn't. And
well, Ray knows the type of gold that's more abundant.
yeah,
You know, it's that fine stuff that's abundant.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
you never find enough gold anyways, regardless.
Well, no,
Regardless,
that's the whole point.
Someone-
Otherwise, people would have
regardless-
stopped a long time ago.
right. I mean, if you would have found, an ounce apiece, it wouldn't have been enough,
No,
regardless.
because you still have that hunger going, I bet that there's
Sure.
some more right over there. Because you can't help it.
Right, absolutely.
The best gold source that we had found, what I ended up eventually telling Ray and Alex, was actually just leftovers in the lateral moraine. It was layers upon layers where the glacier melted, dried, the dirt compacted with a little bit of moss over it, so you get that layer that didn't allow the dirt to escape, and
Right.
then the ice would come back in and deposit another layer, and so you've got layer upon layer upon layer, just like a cake. And
Yeah, like our flood layers.
yeah, exactly. But glacier squished.
Yeah, right. Glacier squish layers.
Well, that's
Yeah.
all we have here in Ohio is glaciated deposit gold
Mhm.
Right.
and outwashes and end moraines. So
Mhm. Yeah, and that's sometimes where you have to look, and there's no like I was really hopeful for a little bit of moss mining just to see if there was any scrap of anything there, just to go, okay, am I on the right track? Which sometimes happens, sometimes didn't. I was hopeful that there was going to be something on bedrock. There was little to nothing. The moraine layers had the most gold that we had found, and so it was really cool to see that, but it didn't help for morale because no one believed it, because it's a lot of work for starters, and everybody was like tunnel vision, dead set on, we're going to find it on the bedrock. That's where you find gold. And it's like, we're in a different terrain.
And that's something that I've.
well, unfortunately, a lot of people are like that, huh, Jesse?
Right.
They think
Yeah.
bedrock.
Right. And they're right in
In
certain
the
areas.
right areas, yeah.
Right, certain areas. That's the way you find it. For us, like here in Ohio, yeah, we love to get to bedrock, but usually bedrock's pretty deep. So we go for the flood gold that we know is there. We know, like if I go to our local Plums Creek, I know I'm only going to dig about 18 inches down, and then I'm spreading out because that's where the gold layer is.
Mhm.
It's in that area. It's flood gold.
Yeah.
And now I can get a dredge in there and dig down deep and find some here and there and do
Mhm.
okay. But for like a stream sluice or even a high banker, I'm
Yeah.
doing about 18 inches and I'm spreading my hole out.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm finding the gold.
Yeah. And if the gold's where you find it, and if that's where you're finding it, stay there.
Exactly. If all you're finding is that fine powder stuff in your layers of permafrost, that's where you gotta. That's where your process has to be.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly.
you go out to California, we go out to California, we're taking our metal detectors.
Yeah.
It may be it may be a little stream sluice, but metal detecting. I mean, because there we're looking for the nuggets, like I showed you earlier.
Yeah, it's something that you can like pick up and see that
Exactly.
a metal
Right.
detector is going to detect.
Exactly. So yeah, the same with like Australia. You metal detect there. You do sniping there. You do different. Every area's got to be different.
I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to go to Australia to look for gold.
Oh, me too.
That'll be
Let
fun.
me go.
So a couple people are asking, where else have I mined for placer? So
Right.
Arizona is where I'm an independent consultant for placer mining, but I've placer mined in Nevada, California, Oregon, Arizona, and New Mexico. And so those are just, I've just stayed over here on the West Coast. I haven't gone out and about. So, and I think I only went like gold panning in Idaho just for fun at one point in time because I was up there, but we didn't find anything where we were at. It was just more of a fun thing. But
yeah, that's Rock Butcher. That's the other geologist, the one we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The bear stories one, unfortunately, like I didn't get to see any polar bears. I wanted to so desperately bad. But since there was a massive hothead and didn't shut up for like quite a while, he kind of ruined our day of actually searching for bears. But I did get to see polar bear footprints, which were cool because they were fairly fresh. They kind of freaked me out a little bit, but like I was all about it. Like I was ready to like see a freaking polar bear. So like we were even, dragging a piece of meat off of the boat, hoping to distract it. I know that sounds sad and stupid, but like, there were a couple of us that were like, we want to see a freaking bear. And not even most people in Greenland have ever seen a polar bear in real life. Very, very few people have.
Wow.
So
Well, polar bears don't want to be around us.
no. If they do, they like want to eat you apparently. So that was a little bit.
Chances are they really prefer not to just stay away from you. They know we're crazy humans,
Yeah.
Stay away from them crazy humans. They'll do something stupid, like shoot you or something.
That's right.
So the amount of gold, we're gonna get back to talking about the gold.
Yeah.
The amount of gold you found is that going to be typical of that particular area, the Greenland itself? Is that the type of gold that you're going to find there? Unless you're hard rock mining, right?
Yeah, and if you're placer mining, that's pretty much what you're going to find. The hard rock mines, the two of them that are there, they're finding gold that's slightly bigger than the little teeny tiny flake that I found that's in situ. And so it's just a specimen basically inside of it. So they're neat looking. I got to see a couple pictures. And then Ray, he got to go over to that mine. So I got to see him bring a piece back, which was cool. And, just look at it visually. And so going, oh, wow, that makes kind of a lot of sense. And where we were at in versus to where the mine was at, like this was our valley. And then there was this huge hill. And then there was the valley where the gold mine was at. So literally we had a mountain in between where we should have been. But within that mountain, you get different veins and different offshoots and stuff like that. So being close to the source on the belt was at least, gold was there. It was just coming from way, 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 way.
So even their hard rock gold was tiny, tiny stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty small, but it was, at least it was veins of it. You could actually see veins through the specimens.
All right, but tiny veins, capillaries.
Tiny veins, yeah, exactly. Tiny capillaries.
Well, that's what happens, right?
Mm-hmm. Oops.
So now that you're back,
yes.
And so did you have any other run-ins with any other animals? Did you see any fox out there? Any big birds?
I saw like the sea eagles that they had. I saw minke whale. I saw humpback whales. I saw the humpback whales when they were breaching. They were right next to our boat in the fjord. And it was a mama and a calf. And so the mom would come up and then the calf would come up. And oh man, I was freaking out. And I had lost my voice a couple days prior. So I had this like really high pitched squeak every time that I would talk. And so our camera guy was just laughing his butt off. Q came with me. She thought it was hilarious. And what was cool, we went out on this boat, and the guy was the ABC chartering over in Greenland, and he had a thing that for the first person on any given boat ride that sees a whale first gets a pin of, the humpback whale. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So one of the story producers was like, I'm going to see it first. I was like, oh, not a chance. That's going to be me. So we went all the way out that day to this guy's personal gold claim that is in Hard Rock. And we did find gold that day. It was fun. We had to hand crush the rock though, in order to get the gold out. And then we had to pan it. So it was an intense little process, but it was a lot of fun. We were going back, a storm was coming in. We had all of these like icebergs that kept getting a lot closer to the boat. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Q, and I'm literally like off in the distance, and my vision's over here, but I'm looking at her at the same time. And all of a sudden over here, like I see this spout and I scream whale, like a bloody murder scream. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, someone died. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I swear. And Q said, no, she did. I saw it too, right out of the corner of my eye. So everybody was watching. And then sure enough, I think they breached probably 10 different times while we were like right next to him. And so he gave me the pin, which I thought was awesome and cool. And it was exciting. And the story producer was like, fine, whatever. He was all blank. But he was happy for me nevertheless. He was a cool guy. That's cool. It just felt like those experiences with the animals were neat. I got to see like one of the snowshoe rabbits that were over there, which was cool. I never saw a fox. And then they have these like little birds that are, I guess the Greenlandic people can only kill so many of them per year because there's not a lot, but apparently they taste really good. So everybody wants to get them, but they're really, really cute. They're kind of brown with little white spots on them. And I got to see like 4 or 5 of those like run off the hill one time, but
no taste?
Huh?
No taste?
No, I didn't have any weapons while I was over there, but a knife just in case. I don't know what good that was going to do me, but
Dennis Hendrick, he's got a question. He wants to know about the piece of meat in Eric's sleeping bag. What was that about?
Wait, what?
Why did they throw the piece of meat in Eric's sleeping bag?
Okay, so
You pissed off the wrong person?
Yeah, I don't okay, so to be honest, I didn't get to see every episode, and like I have the majority of them now. I have all 11 but number 12, but so on a personal note, for me watching them, since they made me the awful mean evil villain, which people loved it, I didn't like it because it wasn't me. So it was very hard for me to watch them show my facial expressions for something that wasn't towards what someone was saying or what I had just said in conjunction to what someone was saying. But I'm like, I never said that to them during that time. But because
understand this.
We know you have no control audience, what happens after.
We know how they do that stuff. We know because we've talked to enough of you guys that have been on these shows to understand that you were picked for a reason.
Yes.
Other people were picked for their reason, and that person was picked for this reason and this reason and that. And it all goes about because what do we say here? Drama sells.
Yes.
So they make up the drama, and I'm sure they made up you know drama.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Did you hear what what's her face said about you? Right. She said this. Then they go to the other one. Did you hear this? And
then it becomes this long string of like, wait, where did that even come from?
Right.
Well, so I always tell my wife it's because it's in the script.
I would rather had a script. That would have been so much easier. It's so much easier to memorize a movie.
No. It's not your script. Their script.
Their script.
Their script.
Yeah.
They have a script. This is what we
While
want.
all of you are in your
All about-
shanties or whatever, they're in theirs doing their own pre-show or whatever, saying, okay, we need this. We need some more drama between the girls, or we need drama between Elley and Eric. How can we conjure it up?
Yep.
And then here too, there's also probably scenes that were done that you weren't even aware of.
Yeah.
Because did you have your own camera crew, or did they kind of just float around, follow different people?
So at any given time, there were two different cameras, kind of two different camera crews. So it was a DP and a story producer. And so the DP is just, the director of photography. So they're just the person on the camera. They have questions, and the story producer has questions. And sometimes we had our main producer there. It just depends. And at any given time, our safety guy was bouncing like back and forth. And so while you were doing something, you had no idea what the next crew was doing, other than
Right.
sometimes if people showed up in the morning, you would get to hear the full story, but the majority of the time, like, people weren't ready. There were 3 people that were never ready, never on time, always late. It would show up to work hours late, and we're like, oh, well, there they are finally. And we'd already had, half a day's work done. And so you never knew what was going on. It got exhausting.
Yeah, that's funny. You keep calling it work. They were late for work. We had this.
It
work
was work.
Well,
I
I mean,
know.
there was a good portion of it which people don't seem to like really understand, that we were mining while we were there, at least doing the
Right.
best we could, unless a camera person was like, oh, no, but you need to go over here and do this, and you're like, darn it. And especially if you were like in the thick of what you were doing, and then they
Right,
kind
I
of
was gonna-
snatched you away.
Right. That was going to be my next question. Like, how often did you actually get to mine once you were out there mining?
Mhm.
Because I know they'll do things like, oh man, we missed that. Can you do that again?
Yeah.
Something you were busy doing your thing, and they missed. They said,
Yeah.
oh, that was good. Do it again, please.
Yep. Yeah.
So how
Hey,
much
could you
time
fall
did
down
they-
that hill again? Could you cut yourself a second time? That'd be awesome. Like,
Slice the other finger.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed that. Can
Yeah.
you reenact
Can you
that?
break your other ankle for us, because we didn't see it the first time. And it happened, oh gosh, a dozen times every day.
Yeah.
And then if it wasn't that, it was OTFs. And so those are just on the fly interviews. So they would grab you and say, oh, after you did a scene, or after you were showing somebody what you just found, they'd say, okay, now we have to go talk about it. And some people were real quick. You'd have a 5-minute OTF. Other people would take 15 plus minutes because they wouldn't shut up or find the exact words or make it concise. And
Right.
so that part got frustrating, because you're like, okay, like, I need to take this up there and I need their help, because it's just physically impossible for me to do it by myself. So there were
Yeah,
those sorts of
I'm a
things.
20-minute guy. I'll be sitting up there talking for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're the one that won't shut up.
It happened.
Don't invite him to any more meetings.
Yeah, so to be honest, I have no idea what the piece of meat in Eric's sleep bag is. I want to know.
I guess you'll
I have
have
no
to watch.
clue.
You might have to watch his version.
Yeah, oh gosh, no, thank you. I've seen some of what that kid has done on YouTube, and oh no. No thanks, I'm good. But the coolest part is you could go take your gold pan and a sluice and whatever else you wanted to into the creek and go look for something else in a different area. And that part was awesome. And, Ray was cool about it. I brought him back couple different pans of stuff that I had found, little teeny tiny pieces, that kind of thing. And I was like, where do you want me to do with this? And, just because it was like a collective thing. And he was sweet about it. He's all, just keep it. He's like, you found it. It is your adventure as well. And he said, you need a piece of Greenland to take home. So that was really cool. Like, I really appreciate that from Ray, because I didn't care one way or another. Like a lot of people say, I have gold fever and that's all I want to find. Don't get me wrong. I love finding gold. It is so cool. Like it is so amazing once you see
Awesome.
that little flash. Oh, and FYI, in my next video, I didn't even know that I did this, but I do say that I hope to find, that flash in the pan in representation of you guys. And I'm so glad that I did record myself saying it a couple times. So that's in my next video that's coming out tomorrow. But
Nice.
when you find those little nuggets like that, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But I'm the type of person that can walk away from finding gold to go look for other minerals and be perfectly happy. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go find something else now. If you guys want this, we can take it. Because that was it. It was like a collective effort. We were supposed to be there helping each other, which
right.
It didn't end up that way for the most part, but that's how I saw it. I wanted to work with that team, and that was my expectation, but it wasn't necessarily like the takeaway, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the producer's expectations either. They don't care about that stuff. They only care about their bottom line, their show. Right.
Yes.
How can we get this? Because they got to sell it and they got to make money off it. They've already invested in you guys. So get all we can get from them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is that something you think you'd do again?
Oh, in a heartbeat. I would. Oh yeah. My quote unquote demands or contract would be much different from the first one. I wouldn't go at all. And it'd be written up by my attorney.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I have a few things in the works that I can't talk about, but at least I'll have that creative control. So that will be a lot of fun. And I'm really, really excited. And next year, actually, January, February, I actually do get to go over to Australia, which will be fantastic.
Ooh,
so
now I'm really jelly.
Yeah, are you going there to
I'm actually going there because I am it's not a show about gold, but I'm the host of the show that will be happening over there. I can't say any more than that, but it's January, February next year. And so actually, I mean, that's Australia's summertime. So that's going to be interesting.
Right.
But I don't care. I'm good with the heat. I live in Lake Havasu. It's like one of the hottest places in the United States.
I used to live upriver from you.
Wait, what?
I used to live upriver from you.
Oh, did you in Parker or
farther up, Riviera.
Oh, okay, I know where that's at.
I thought you were going to say Washington State.
No, that was way, way before Washington.
Sorry, you were saying we're talking about Australia.
Oh yeah, Australia.
Sorry.
Right. So is the show going to be about geology or about treasure? Or both?
So it's going to have some geologic aspects in it. It's not going to really have treasure aspects in it. But it'll have some geology in it.
But not necessarily treasure.
No. I know you're dying here, but so I've made a couple contacts over there in Australia. And I've met both of them actually via TikTok. And so I told them I'm going over there and I would love to come over to their like operations. One of them is a guy that is also kind of into geology and does like kind of tours around Australia, knows a lot of knowledge, really cool guy. His name's Sid. And so I said, I'd love to, be able to say hi or whatnot, because I'm going to try to take a little bit of the time afterwards and stay over there a little bit, which is kind of what I wish I would have done with the Greenland thing, which I could have, but with how some of the stuff conspired, oops. And so that light's gone, sorry. I didn't want to stay there anymore, just because of my state of mind for how I was treated, and I couldn't mentally like be there anymore. I couldn't wait to get home. But doing this other thing, knowing what I'm going into, more so knowing the people that I'm going into it with, and that making that experience will be a lot better. So I'm going to go to an opal mine while I'm there. for
Ooh.
some guys that have their own. So it'll be cool to find fire opals. And then I'm going to try to go to 2 different places to look for gold. And so fingers crossed.
Speaking of opal mining, I haven't seen Nikki and Terry in here.
Terry Curry's in here.
No, the other Terry Marshall.
Marshall.
He's working in the opal mines with Nikki and some other guy.
Nikki,
I forget their name. Brad Welsh, Aussie friend of ours. He's like good looking geologist. We know. She's our clickbait, Brad. She's our clickbait.
Thanks. Did you guys go to mechanical testing in Greenland? No. We actually had, there was a test done on Alex's claim years before, and the testing holes that they dug came back pretty favorable for gold, so that was cool. And then but otherwise, when I got there, I created soil pedons, which is a huge, just like excavator takes a giant swath out of the hill and then you test the layers. And so that part was cool. And then someone asks, did I enjoy driving a Traco? Yeah, the excavator was awesome. I'd actually, for weird terms that people don't know about, like I'm MSHA certified and I have my 5023 for it, which is basically somebody saying that I've been signed off to run this big equipment because I'm capable and I'm not going to kill anybody. So
at least if they don't, as long as they don't get in the way, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to get ran over by, a gigantic 30-ton machine, stand in front of the tracks.
Right.
It's not going to be my fault.
Elley, if you'd like to throw your link out there for your YouTube channel, we had a couple people just come in, want to know who you were.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I have it right here.
I am Elley at Elley Knows Rocks.
That's right. That's Elley.
Can find her everywhere.
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 At Elley Knows Rocks.
Tonight you find her here.
Yeah, tonight I'm sitting right here. I'm looking out at my pool, seeing how enjoyable that would be with a beverage right now, by the way.
Instead of sitting here talking to these old
We're
bogeys.
glad you're with us.
Yeah, that's what I was doing the other day. I was flipping through YouTube going, oh, I wonder what's going on. And then I saw you guys were live like last Tuesday. And I was actually in the pool in a floaty, hoping I didn't drop my phone. Like, going, oh, cool. And so I was trying to text plus like swim around. But it worked. So here I am.
Cool. Yeah, you don't always catch us too often. I've seen you come in every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. I come in to stay for a few minutes and see what y'all are talking about and bounce on out.
Talking about the same old crap.
Yeah.
You probably come in and hear me rant and go, I'm out of here.
Oh my gosh. But so I do have a couple of the pieces of rubies that I had from
let's do some more. Let's do some more porn here.
They're in a plastic thing, but hopefully see how they get bright red.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what we gotta use that light on your ruby.
And so rubies and sapphires will do this because they're corundum. They're part of the corundum family. Ruby just means red. And so these are technically pink sapphires. But they're still they're really amazingly cool. And then I don't know that you guys are even going to be able to see this. Probably not. No. Okay, you can see it blurry in there moving.
Oh, I see something in there rolling around.
I know, because you can never get it to stay. And this is Greenlandic water, but this little guy right here is the flake that everyone freaked out about. It's literally. Okay, I'm gonna get a
that was a flake.
Yeah. So you can see. Wait, it's a little bigger than that. Hang on.
Oh man, I was posting links. I missed the
So
flake.
you can see how big my fingertip is in comparison to that little black dot.
Wow.
So that black dot was actually the biggest flake. Yes, flake for Greenland. that anybody had ever found on Alex's claim.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So people in Greenland like, whoa, I've never seen gold that's that big that came out of placer. I'm like, okay, cool. And like everybody flipped out like it was cool because you can hear it actually by itself in the water, which is awesome. And so showing that to Alex, he was all yay, and everybody was super excited. But that's how big it is.
Did you weigh it? Did it weigh? I don't,
You know, I don't have a scale that small. I know people that do that measure right down to the like fly poop, right? Sure. And so I could do that. I should take it to somebody because I would like to know how much that flake weighs. Literally, it was like just a teeny tiniest little picker, but I was so excited because it was the first thing that you didn't need a microscope to see.
Oh, and is it really flat?
Yes.
Oh, it's really flat too, huh? Oh.
Yep. Yeah, there's no real, like, it's got some oxidation on one side, which I found really cool. When I first saw it in the pan, I was like, huh, is it like pyrite? Is it something like, and then I flipped it over and then I was like, nope, that's gold. But that's how oxidized like the one side was. You couldn't even tell, but it was right down there at the bottom. And so it was like, yes. And it was so cool just to see that. I was super excited because it wasn't, it wasn't 300-400 mesh like everybody else had been finding. It was something you could actually like at least grab on the tip of your finger to put in the jar. So like that part was fun, but was it a flake? Really? No. But people flipped out about it. People freaked out like it was the end all be all. And that little teeny tiny thing was going to make or break how much gold we found in Greenland. Yeah. No, so it was hilarious, but I'm like, you know what? I said, this is my piece of Greenland and that's it. And I told Ray that was mine. I was taking that home and he's like, yeah, I don't care. But he and I were the only people that knew.
And that's the problem with, not the problem. One of the things that happens with people who just start off prospecting for gold, and we've all done it. I'm sure when every one of us, we start off, I still have my dream of a softball sized nugget.
Oh yeah.
Dano's got his dream of a baby head sized nugget.
Slightly morbid. Can we use a different shape?
Yeah.
Just the size.
I got
just the size. But you find out if you're paying attention, if you realize, that that's not what you're going to find anymore. I mean, not that you're not going to find it, because they're still out there, just far and few between. But for the majority of the gold you're going to find is going to be what you have in that jar right there, and smaller.
Smaller.
Yep.
Can't even see it. I was glad I had my hand lens. That's how when we were testing parts of the moraine as it was coming down, after you'd shake everything, if you couldn't see it right away, I would actually physically get out my hand lens and go, oh yeah, there's gold there. But that's what it took to see it.
Right.
Like,
well, here, I tell people, look, if you watch the gold shows like Gold Rush and, even Gold Fever and Ice Cold Gold, any other shows, you'll see them looking at gold through a loop. Why are they looking for gold through a loop? Well, that's because that's what's out. Yeah, because that's small. And then I think about, well, hell, I don't even need a loop for the gold that I find here. So our gold must be huge, but it's not. It's still fly poop.
Oh yeah, all of it's fly poop.
Troy Johnson says, hey, you should come to Ohio. We got gold.
I want to go to different places and find gold more over towards the West Coast. I see that. I want to go.
Yep.
Awesome. I'd go do it. Tell him,
Yeah,
tell him
yeah,
to message me. Otherwise, I've got to write shit down. Or, oh, sorry. Or they won't remember.
Beep.
Yes. Yes. Elley knows.
So, so, so did that picker come up missing? Is that how the show goes?
Oh, my little one.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know if it got into the film or got into the thing.
I think it might have.
It probably.
Because here's the question.
Uh-huh.
Indiana Gold Getter Scotty says, what happened to the missing picker? Ta-da! There you go. Answered.
Answered.
It's not missing.
Nope.
Gold Fever Adventures and Treasure Hunting says, hello, Elley.
Hi.
And hello.
Me?
Jack Tucker.
It's possible. Okay. I remember during like our pre-gaming, I'm really bad with names, and I don't mean to forget people's names, but if they tell me something about how they met me, or if I see their face, usually it's like a face thing for me.
Mhm.
And yes, I'm gonna know exactly who you are by your face.
Oh.
I might forget to say Ed, but I will know your face. Just like I was at the gem show and I saw the crystal collector, and he and I have spoken on Instagram a couple times.
Oh,
He's wanted to come out. Yeah.
Oh, me too. I'd love me either.
Aw.
I
Well,
know.
he wanted to come out and do a video with me. Our timing just didn't mix. And so at some point we will, but I saw him at the gem show. I couldn't remember his name to save my life. But I was like, hey, crystal collector. And then after he left, I was like, oh my gosh, now I remember his name. And now it's blanking. Now I can't remember. But anyways, while I was there, I felt embarrassed. But he was really cool. We got a picture together, and he had his little dog there, and he was getting pictures of the crystals. He was doing the same thing I was, making a YouTube video. And so, I guess it's that common respect. It's like, I know what it takes for you to try to sneak around, try to get good audio, and it's not like you're sneaking around, but it's like, you don't want everybody watching that you're filming yourself while you're doing that in public.
Right.
Like I got in trouble while I was there because I was filming myself doing a live. And I was walking around just showing everybody. And these vendors were like, oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, dude, this is free publicity for you. Like, your name is here, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, this is the age that we're living in is very digital. So if you're on social media or anything like that, you might as well have somebody promote. And some people loved it. Some people talked about their stuff and was loving it that I was filming them, and they were all about it. And then you get these other people who are just like, don't talk to me. You're like, okay.
Right.
It is what it is. No. Mm-mm.
None whatsoever.
That's right. Did you guys have more
Yeah.
questions?
That's what I don't know. Let's see. I kind of. What?
Yeah, guys, keep it up. They need their super chat.
Thanks for the super chat.
WI Gold's Metal Detecting Adventure. Scott and I was hanging out in the booth next to Elley when she was in Phoenix. Scott is trying to sell puffer dry washers for his friend. Are you talking about Scotty Tony? Swiftwater? Swiftwater?
So Mike Zapp was there selling his dry washers and the puffers that he makes with the little cedar boxes. Yeah, that was Mike Zapp. He was right. We were sharing kind of a booth space at the Phoenix GPAA show, which was fun. And then I went and talked a bunch while I was there. The crowd got insane. Like, you never knew that like people that loved gold would be like stage rusher sort of people, like almost, but it was packed. It was hilarious and awesome all at the same time. Like, those people were like great fans. Everybody had good questions. And like, they even had to pull up all of the tent sides to let enough people in. It was great. It was so cool. Like, it was awesome. I was like, yes, you guys are like diehards.
Yeah, he says,
Yeah, Swifties. Got Swift water.
short guy with a
Surprised he
big
wasn't
mustache.
trying to sell his pictures
Yeah.
with Manny. So his autograph with Manny. So hey, I have one. Want to buy it, Rob?
I met a lot of good people.
Is he still muted, guys?
No,
Can you hear
I'm
him?
not.
Okay.
I looked down when Mr.
Okay.
Lodak asked if I was muted, and
Yeah, he's the guy we're talking about. Well, obviously, WY Gold says he was in the booth next to you for that show.
wearing a pure
Across-
white bleach white T-shirt,
Forrest,
wearing a
His red
bandana
bandana.
around his neck,
and a
and
cowboy
a
hat.
cowboy hat. Stands about 3'4". No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
no, he was over there with Mike. I know the picture of the guy. He
Yes.
came and like interviewed me too with his camera and whatnot. He was cool, dude. Like, had a Western sort of motif going on. Red
Yep.
bandana.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name at all, but I know who he is. He comments on my videos. He's a cool dude, and we chat every now and again. Why can't I remember his name? Why am I bad at this?
He
Scotty
goes by
Swiftwater Tony.
Swiftwater, Scotty Swiftwater Tony. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
his
was
name.
like, I can go to Messenger and probably find who this person is.
Yeah, Scotty's a trip.
Oh, he had a green shirt that day? Wow, surprising. Every time I see him, it's like white, spotless, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Very
does.
tight.
Yeah, he does dry washing in Arizona.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
Arizona's
believe
the
he
place
works
to do
up
it.
in the Blanchards.
Ellie
He's got
knows, Rob.
cowboy style going on.
Yep.
Because cowboys wear the tighter shirts and
Yeah.
the cowboy hats, you know.
The handlebar, or no, she's got the Fu Manchu
Oh,
mustache.
yeah.
No,
It works. Whatever works.
Yeah.
And a green shirt.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. We just like heckling him. You know,
Yeah,
People need that. You need to be
Yeah,
like, it means that you're loved, because if people don't give you crap and take yours back, they don't love you.
man, these guys must really love the hell out of me.
See, there you go.
Oh, hell yeah. That's why we give you
But
such
Scotty-
a hard time.
Yeah, Scotty's also a co-host on another show on GoldProspectorsSpace.com. That's
Prospectors Radio.
Prospectors Radio, which is another good place if you know, you want to learn about prospecting and stuff. Another good place to check out. It's free to join. And we always plug that channel because they're our friends and we like
They're
them.
your
They've
friends.
been
They're our
friends of our
Personal
personal
friends.
friends of ours and friends of the channel for many, many years.
Since the beginning, since before.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
since the beginning.
And it's really a good place to go to find out about prospecting, ask questions. And yeah, they do 2 live shows every week. One on
Cool.
Sunday night, one on Wednesday night. And
That's
you'll
fun.
hear Scotty in the background.
Oh yeah, you'll hear Scotty. Now, Ohio Relic Hunter says, I love you, Jesse, even when your hands are around his throat. That's the picture I have when we saw him at the Gold Show here in Columbus. Jesse
Yes.
choking him.
First time I met him, because since he's been on here, he just rags on me and rags on me. Talks about my age, because I'm really old, you know. Oh yeah, you were with the Romans, weren't you?
Oh my gosh.
Constantly. So, you know, and then we're at the Gold Show, and he introduces himself. First of all, he's this big, huge dude. I mean, he's got to be pushing 7 foot. I mean, 6.5 anyways. Big, huge dude. He said, who has it? I just reached up and put my hand around. You're the one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But he still loves me.
Who's that?
Oh, and that was the second time. It's just I didn't remember the first time. I have a problem with names and remembering anything.
Names are tough. Names are hard.
Yesterday was tough.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah. I'm old. I have an excuse. No.
There's never an excuse.
Stop using that doggone excuse.
Yes, Bill. CRS.
Get out the wheelchair.
Yeah, CRS. That's right.
All right, so somebody had asked, or someone, Ed, was that you who put up the comment, what's her favorite find?
Yes.
So
that was Drum Detect asked that question.
Here's where my problem lies. I love all of them that I find. And so it's my favorite time in that, or favorite find in that moment. Because I keep everything. I swear I have hoarder tendencies for rocks. Like I have giant rock gardens and my display shelves and stuff.
Oh, you're not the only one, sister, and I ain't even a geologist. It's like, oh, pretty leverite. I think I'll take that home.
Well, yeah, and seeing that's what everybody thinks. So, I mean, but these are cool.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
is that copper?
This is
native copper?
crystalline copper, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
So,
like the patina on it too.
And I mean, you can kind of see it. I'm trying to let it focus, but it's.
Yeah, there, block your face for a second because the camera's wanting you to stay focused on your face.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And that neat though, like the crystalline copper, like this is the rarest form of copper. That came from Chino, New Mexico. And I loved finding it. I actually got to go over to the mine for my birthday because one of the head geologists over there was like, well, I'll let you go down and dig in our junk pile, because this right here is the quickest way to ruin a copper mine mill, because this can't be processed. If it's native copper like this, it's junk and garbage to a mine. So the only thing they get out of is selling it or throwing it away.
Oh,
because
wow.
If they put it on any of their leach dumps, it doesn't deteriorate, but it'll absorb. And then once they put it in the mill, it turns into these giant copper balls that clog the mill. And so because it's so soft and moldable that it gums up everything. And so they have a real problem with that in some places. So they have to get rid of it. So lucky for geologists that love rocks. Like, this is awesome.
I saw a video of yours where you talked about that, Elley.
Yeah. And so it's pretty cool. And then this, on a geology standpoint, is amazing. It's been cut. So you see how you have the white rock or the felsic rock going through?
Yeah.
It's stepping up because this was a fault that is cutting the rock. And for orientation purposes, I don't know if this was it, if it's a thrust fault or if it's a normal fault. I have no idea, but what's inside of here is chalcopyrite, pyrite, and molybdenum with a quartz vein that's cutting all the way through the rock.
Ooh, nice.
Whole way through. But that part, because I saw these rocks, because it only goes, here's this, how it cuts through this way. And then you cut it this way and it's straight, but you can see how it offset. And so I found that absolutely fascinating in the field. I was like, I got to cut that open and see if it looks that cool on the inside. Well, it was better on the inside than I thought it was going to be. But it's the perfect example of micro-stepping faults. And this is what you get a lot in copper porphyries, are faults like this, because the secondary mineralization is what caused this to happen. So this shot through here on a fault zone, split these rocks to uplift this part, and then deposited all of the copper rich minerals right here along with the molybdenum.
So that's got copper in it?
Oh yeah, a ton of it.
Oh yeah.
Because chalcopyrite, there's no bornite in this one, it's just chalcopyrite. But chalcopyrite is the primary mineral for them to put in their mill for extraction of copper. So
you have to be careful
for their
with
hypergene
that.
process, they look for chalcopyrite. For their supergene process, they look for oxides.
Doesn't that pyrite though carry arsenic though? Don't you have to be careful with it?
If you have arsenopyrite, yes, this is just regular pyrite.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
there was a lot of testing done at that particular mine where that's from. So there was no arsenic in the pyrite here. But I've come across many places where you get arsenopyrite and it has a beautiful silver sheen to it. It looks really cool. You just don't want to eat it.
Right.
Like,
What about handling it? Is
No,
it all right?
you're fine.
to handle? You're fine.
As long as you're not like putting it in a soap bar and rubbing it up against your hands with water over and over again, you're fine. Don't touch a bunch of it and then lick something. But like arsenic being a heavy metal, you have to do it over and over and over and over again.
It's accumulation.
Yeah, if you do it once, then you're gonna be,
so it'd
fine.
be kind of like handling cinnabar. You're fine as long as it don't get hot or something.
Or if you ingest it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So then people think that, all of these things are just gonna happen, right? You're just gonna ingest all these minerals, or it's gonna happen through osmosis. And it's like, no, like I don't go around eating rocks. I don't have that kind of disorder. But touching them, you're gonna be fine. If you cut it though, like you do want to wear a mask if you're cutting anything with it.
Yeah, of course, if you're wondering what me and Ed are giggling about, our buddy Ohio Relic Hunter, didn't arsenopyrite have a TV show back then? This is what we have to deal with.
That's why Jesse put his hands around his throat at the Gold Show. we love you, Bill. We love you.
Those are funny.
Yeah, it is. Well, we didn't get Ray in here tonight. Bummer. He just stops in about this time.
Well,
we're getting ready to close.
Oh wow, it is. Wow, 2 hours sure flew by tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. And everybody, I'm sorry about the technical issues earlier.
Yeah, thanks for hanging in there for that.
Yeah, definitely. It's greatly appreciated because we do have the greatest audience here on YouTube right here.
That's right.
So.
No, well, they're at least the okayest.
Okay.
That's our chat room. We love them.
We're good with words.
Drum detect. It's all a disorder.
All a disorder. That's right. So, what is the scariest time you had while exploring, Mr. Lodak?
Oh, geez.
Let's go into overtime.
So,
and Mr. Lodak's the world's greatest moderator, so you got to be straight with him.
So I've had two pretty scary experiences. I've I love to go exploring, in different abandoned mines. And I don't think that there's any problem, just, hey, I want to go in here. I have a flashlight. Let's go see and check it out. There are things you smell for, things you look for, all of the above. And I ran into a mine. I've made a video about it. And in flip-flops. Yes. And as I looked over down the winds in the vertical shaft that was at the end of the attic, I was amazed, and there were these big old beautiful beams and this stuff, and you could tell it went down in there. I was like, oh man, if only I had a rope, this would be so cool. I'd totally do this. As I started to talk a little bit more, that dreadful, horrible sound happened, and I flipped out. I was like, snake! And I scream and I start running the other direction. And then all of a sudden these 2 bats flew down from the ceiling and started like dive bombing me. So I'm getting dive bombed by 2 bats. I'm trying to run away from the rattlesnake in flip-flops out of the end. I was like, oh man. So I got out and that adrenaline was pumping. I was running fast out of that mine. I didn't know what was in the way. That was fantastic. Like, I had a great time. Don't get me wrong, but was it stupid?
Yeah.
I needed a bigger flashlight, but did I have a blast? Oh yeah, it was totally memorable too. So like, I love doing stuff like that. Otherwise, like, I know that I've probably walked on things that were like super sketchy, especially when I went back to it the next time and that platform was gone, just no longer there, and the walkway was just this huge void. I was like, oh, that was a false bottom the whole time.
Yeah.
But you don't know until like sometimes you don't put those pieces together until after you've done it, and then you find the other holes and you're like, oops, that could have gone wrong. And you just hope for the best. And
right.
I guess that's what I do. I just hope that I'm going to come out okay on the other end, because you get one chance for your whole life to live it. That's it.
Right.
Yep,
and everybody's always told me, don't waste your youth. Don't do this. Don't do that. So if I get the chance to run up the side of a hill to go do something, I'm sure as hell going to do it while I still can. And no offense to the older peoples out there that might have bad knees or hips or backs that hurt. And especially the people that I've dragged along and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do this. I apologize, but they wanted to go in my defense. But why limit myself to do something? Like, if I go out with a bang, so be it. Because what's the point in being boring? I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. I have my down days where I'm just sitting in front of the computer and I'm editing all day long. That's
that's one thing I love about live broadcasting.
Right. And I'm that old guy with the bad knees that's going to walk that mountain trail with you.
And you can complain the whole time, but you're gonna
No. Actually, he was very good in California hiking the Sierras. It took a while, but he was a trooper. He was a trooper, and you should have seen the prospector shuffle he did on one of the streams, and he did not fall. I wish I got that on tape.
Well, it's about the adventure getting somewhere. There's so many times when I go to find something and I'm so hopeful it's going to be there, but every little step that I took, like getting there, was awesome. And even if I didn't find anything on the other end, I'm like, but I'm standing here. And I think that's one of the reasons why I film what I do, is because 89% of the time I'm doing it alone and there's nobody else there to witness it. And like, if no one's there to witness your life experiences for those really awesome moments, then at least somebody can see it via camera and someone can say, I was there too, because I got to see it through your eyes. I love that aspect of filming and YouTube and things like that. It's amazing. And it's one of the biggest reasons why I do it, because there are so many people. There's a guy that I'm in touch with all the time. He loves to send me pictures of rocks and identify them. He was put in a wheelchair very early on in life. He can't go do hiking. He can't get out there and do he can go out in his yard, which he does a lot. And, like pick up rocks with special tongs that he's made and stuff like that. And he cleans them up and sends me pictures, but he can't go running around anymore. he can't do those things. And so it's like for people like that, especially, I can get out there and hurt myself. They don't have to.
They're living vicariously through you.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Yeah. It's like one of the things we talk about a lot here often is pay dirt bags.
Yeah.
Right. I don't buy them. That doesn't, we hardly buy any. We might do one.
If we do, we buy them from our local club or chapter,
But those bags have a large value to them for people who can't get out and do those things. They're able to at least, have fun painting, because it's fun. Painting's fun. And then Dennis Hedrick keeps saying, Ray's complaining you didn't find him enough gold.
I did. You tell Ray to shove a sock in it. I was just reading that comment for one of them.
Tell Ray right now to come here and confront her.
We had to keep going in the Firefly, and we didn't have enough time. It was there. It was there, dude. You saw it.
I tell you what, if anybody understands that situation more than Ray, Ray understands. He may give you a hard time.
Oh yeah.
But he knows what it's all about. He and even though Ray isn't really, he's only been mining about as long as I have. But some people learn better.
Some people learn a lot faster than others.
Yeah, sure.
And you can teach an old dog new tricks if they're willing to learn.
Right.
So, and it's that willingness to learn that's the problem for a lot of people. I know Ray was totally cool about it. I think that he'll always give me shit, and I welcome it every chance. Of course.
Hey, Randy Lewis. We still got people coming in on it's late.
Why they didn't drill? I believe she said they did drill earlier, didn't they?
From years back, they did a little bit of drilling, but there's the type of drill they would need to get in there would nearly be impossible for the location. And so the hand sampling of pits was what they did, and then digging bigger pits because of the different variations of sizes of rocks. Even if you were to get an RC drill in there, a core drill would have a hell of a time getting through, because you have boulder fields that are just, you get boulder fields that are 25 feet deep, and you put a core rig in that, and that core rig is going to be pissed because you do RC through unconsolidated rock, and then you do core through solid rock. And so that doing that for the hard rock mines that are there in Greenland, that's what they do. And they have awesome core samples of that, but you can't necessarily do that on a placer mine in Greenland.
And I'm assuming the reason you guys didn't crush a bunch of rocks is because that's not what you were there to do, right?
No, because we were there specifically to do the first placer gold mine in Greenland. Right. And so that's what we got started doing. And
so there is no placer gold mines there?
Nope.
All hard rock.
All hard rock. There's only 2 gold mines there. And they're both hard rock. No, it's okay.
All of them are hard rock. Both of them.
All of them. All 2.
All 2 of them?
All 2 of them, man.
Oh, let's see. Here's a comment about our pay dirt bags. Pay dirt bags are worth it. By the time you factor in the cost associated with heading to the bush, fuel, food, wear and tear on your truck, etc. Pay dirt bags are cool as long as you get a good one. It is a good one. I agree.
Yeah,
it's like fun. Going fishing. Like going fishing. It's cheaper to go to the fish store and buy a pound of expensive fish, and by the time you get a license and then get the boat, the gas, all that time and everything.
Exactly. But if people can do it, again, it's about the adventure out there. You might not find anything. It's that time. It's the getaway. It's the decompression, and then spending time with friends. If you're out there doing that, you might not find diddly squat, but you sure had a great time laughing about that person falling over, getting muddy or dirty, everything else, spilling stuff, that's what that's about. And that's why we go do that, that. Yeah, if you find the shiny stuff, it's awesome. You're like, woohoo! But if you don't, you had a good time with your buddies.
Yeah, I don't know about that statement. Old mine with Lars.
Do a lot of digging in placer.
I was just gonna say, dude, I do an awful lot of digging for doing placer.
That's right.
I do a lot of digging.
Being like a hard rock mine geologist for forever, you learn a lot about placer, but then actually going into doing the placer stuff, there's a lot that goes into it. You get a whole other set of skills for reading the geology surrounding you than you do reading for a hard rock mine. And so I love being able to do both, but it's really cool.
Well, like I was saying earlier too, anywhere you go, it's going to be different. You have to adjust for that difference.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Exactly.
But since we're already 20 minutes in? No, half an hour.
No, we're only 14 minutes into overtime. Is Ray out of his meeting yet? Ray had his chance. Too bad we caught him on a Masonic temple night.
That's all right. I'll message him. Tell him he missed a good show.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Just message him. Were your ears ringing?
Yeah.
He hasn't replied.
But it's been fun. I think we should probably close it up.
I had a blast, guys.
I'm glad you
were able to come back.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, for sure. Sorry, I had technical difficulties too. I didn't mean for my light to fall all over the place.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah, nothing compared to Ed's technical difficulties.
Yeah, you did have your encoder crash on you at least.
Right.
But yeah, great having you visit us again. And as you heard last week, the last week of every month is our open line Tuesday, and that's next week. So that's when you could come back and BS with us if you like, or any of you out there could hop on and join us and plug your channel or whatever you want.
Later, guys.
One more little announcement here.
Yeah.
Ed, as I find it from they have on Gold Prospectors Space.com. Where did it go?
Mr. Lodak posted it a little bit back.
Anyways, they have a raffle going on, a benefit for the website. So for any of you people out there, I'll tell you what, dude, they have some awesome prizes.
They have some really good stuff up for
good stuff, and everything goes
right now.
Everything goes to help the show keep running.
Yeah.
So if you guys are members or you're not members, go over there and sign up. Get involved in there. I don't know what the tickets are going for. Probably about
$5 per ticket.
$5 a piece per ticket. You'll probably get some stuff from Ray, from lots of people. I can't find it now. I don't know where he
Thanks,
put that.
BC Trails.
Okay.
Go to GP.
Forgot you're seeing the chat and in the chat at times, Elley. I was gonna say you're getting quite a bit of love in our chats.
Yeah, I glance over every now and again. I can't watch it because then I end up, like you said, watching delay. I'm like, whoa, something's wrong. And then I'm like, oh yeah, they said that would happen. Don't freak out.
Yeah, that's why I do that.
Yeah, I'm like, I can see the comments, and I now I'm trying to go back and forth. So, but thank you guys so much for the love.
Yeah, I try not to read them too much because I get distracted from them, and then I'm not paying attention to you, and that's not polite. So
that's okay. Everyone else is paying attention to me. You don't have to.
Okay, fine enough. I'll see you later. Later. But no, it's been fun. It was fun last time. It was fun this time. Maybe we'll get you to come back again, especially after you find out what your new adventure is going to be. You need to come back and let us know.
I know.
Yeah,
As soon as I can
definitely.
talk about it, I
We
will.
might be able to.
Right.
Yeah, we might be able to
We
get it out there.
understand your disclosure agreements and stuff, but whenever you're able to.
Mhm. Yes, I definitely will. I'll have a couple different things to tell you guys. Also,
Yep.
someone's mentioned Flash Bash a couple times. Can someone tell me what that is or message me about it, please?
Flash Bash is an outing we put on the first weekend of June. This year was our 4th year hosting it.
Cool.
It's
Small.
It's small. It's mostly creators gathering together, and it's more of a YouTuber gathering.
Okay.
It's a
And
gathering of treasure hunters.
yes,
Gotcha.
all different types: detectorists, magnet
Everything.
fishers, prospectors.
Awesome.
Geologists. We've had a couple of them. We've had geologists join us, helping us out. Hey, look at this.
And it's usually somewhere here in Ohio, Elley.
Cool.
So far, it's been at 3 different locations. So I have thought about getting out to southern Indiana because they have the better gold, like southern Ohio.
Cool.
But that it's a year planning type thing. I was already thinking about it before it was even over this year for next year.
Here's a better question. What are you doing in 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
Labor Day weekend. There's Gold Rush Days.
We got Gold Rush Days
at the Swank West lease in Butler, Ohio. It's been going on for over 20 years now, I believe, like 25 years.
Yeah, Troy keeps going, come to Ohio Gold Rush Days, come to Ohio.
Probably not on this short of notice, Troy.
Yeah, probably not.
It would be cool. I'm going to, what is it? It's the Prescott Outdoor Summit. I have a booth over there. It's September like 16th through 18th, and I'll be like, talking to people and selling stuff, but it's for the kids area so that you can talk to the younger generation about minerals, geology, and things that might get them excited. And then I have little science experiments that they can do at the booth. So
awesome.
That's cool. Awesome. Like we say, start them young.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, they do a lot of things for kids at Gold Rush Days.
Right? We do. They have, in fact, kids belly checking. The kids.
They go out and pan. Somebody shows them how to do.
Well, they've got their own common dig too for the kids.
Right.
Their own detecting.
Metal detecting. Yeah.
Lots of fun stuff. And remember to wear your poncho.
Yeah.
Women, bring a poncho.
Yes.
Portable potty right there.
So helpful. Next time I will have one. It will be on the packing list.
Yeah.
There you go. Poncho.
Large one. Large
poncho. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Extra large.
Large.
Yeah.
Go to Big and Tall store.
Yeah, so that it's long enough. So that this has been such a great conversation.
Who would have ever thought, right? Who would have ever thought that the one thing you learned about tonight on tonight's show was that women, if you wear a poncho, you don't have to worry about people seeing you when you take a crap.
That's right.
Good night, Brad. Hey, Robert Ferguson. Thanks for the super chat.
Awesome, guys.
Our friend.
Don't forget the TP with the poncho. Yeah, this is very true.
Right.
Need that mountain and desert money, sis.
Oh hell, there's leaves out there. Don't worry about it.
Greenland, there weren't leaves.
Oh,
better,
no.
No, you had moss if you were lucky. Otherwise, you had like the crowberry bushes, which were like little blackberries, which were a bunch of sticks with little bitty, teeny, tiny leaves. There was nothing to use.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, it was a situation. But
Yeah. I bet.
Extra newspaper with you.
that's right. Magazine would have been great. Well, guys, I am getting the dinner wave. FYI,
Okay.
through the
Getting
window.
the wave and the
Yes.
pool's
Getting the
calling
wave.
her, going, Ellie.
Hello, it's food. Plus my stomach. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard my stomach growling. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's what
Oh,
that
we're
was.
sorry. We didn't mean to keep you past your dinner time.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm just, it's like the fourth wave, and I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. Hang on.
She's coming. She's coming. Thank you very much, Ellie, for joining us again. Everybody, next week is Open Line Tuesday. Hope to see you all here. Until
Thanks,
then,
Dennis.
may you always have a flash in your pan.
And you know what he's going to say next.
That's right. Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river or in the desert. Who knows? Maybe
At
at the
Menards.
Crater of Diamonds or Menards. It has
The
happened.
Goodwill.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. God bless. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Good night, everybody.
Not everybody. Good evening.
Bye.
Mr. Lodak, nice job again as usual.
As
So,
always,
good night.
thanks for joining us. This Old Mine with Lars. Or
Adios.
See y'all
thanks
later.
for not clearing out the chat room. See ya, Ellie. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios, amigos. David Villa. David
Bye,
Bogan,
Brad.
good to see ya. Thanks again, Robert. Troy Johnson. I want to hear about Canada. Jeff Miller. All of you.
Yeah, great show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Ellie.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a good show.
Yeah, it was.